Welcome to the Dog and Gus Show.
What's up, dog?
Not much, Gus. You.
No delay.
No delay this time.
Yeah, it's.
We have to explain to them why we're talking about a delay.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, they don't know.
Well, of course they don't. We used to be on a UK radio station that's no longer, and we used to say now on Feel It Radio, but we don't say that anymore.
We do not.
We need a new one
Coming up
soon. Yes. Who do we have today?
We've got the Angelina Hunter Trio. Well, we got a duo.
66%.
2 out of 3.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
That's right.
That's what
right.
Milo says.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us. It's great.
It's great.
We're super stoked to speak with you. We were listening to the Let It Slide album, and honestly, great groove, great sounds. Tell us a bit about that album, where it came from. When did you write it? Was it a challenge? All that good stuff.
Okay. Well, thank you, first of all, for listening to the album. I'm really glad you guys like it. It was a lot of fun putting that album together. And it kind of did come together in a sort of strange way.
Yeah, it was partly a COVID-based scenario, like part of it, I suppose. Like some of the core ideas that we ended up tracking, we were writing those things in COVID, and then when we got to the studio, also part of the writing was happening in the studio at the same time. It was busy.
Yeah, well, and during COVID, we couldn't jam forever. It felt like forever. It was just, my musical soul was dwindling because we couldn't get together, because we couldn't have Adam over for like a solid year and a half, I guess we hadn't jammed, which was by far the longest time I have ever not jammed in a band. It was crazy. So when we finally got together, it was kind of like a outpour of music. Like we wrote the whole album and tweaked it and everything in the span of like a month and a half. It just like all came out. And we had too much music, but we had to sort of pick and choose what we wanted to put on the album and what have you. So it was kind of like it was really nice to be able to put down some tunes and jam. And I don't know about you, I love it when we go into the studio and the songs are not quite ready.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it keeps it fresh, right? And it keeps you on your toes, and they're super new and they're exciting, and it's not like I've done this 87 times, the same guitar solo. Like it's not like that.
Yeah. It wasn't like road tested like we might have done which we did do in the previous album. You know, we've been playing it live. We really knew how it felt, but then going into the studio with this new album, it wasn't as rehearsed, which gave us a lot of opportunities to try things. Some things that I tried in the studio, I didn't realize till afterwards to go and try and reproduce it live. I'm like, that's really hard to play.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
The Kill Sandy songs.
Yeah, what did I do that for?
Yeah. That's exactly the same now.
Yeah, not easy.
Exactly. 50 times in a row. That's an interesting perspective, because if, you kind of go in with the idea in your head and maybe the idea changes while you're recording, it's kind of an interesting way to do it. I don't think it's everybody's way, but that's definitely, it worked for you guys. That's for sure.
Thanks. I'm glad you said so.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, one of the tracks in particular, which we ended up calling the album Let It Slide, and it turned into Let It Slide. But we had this awesome idea, but it wasn't working. Like it really wasn't working. And we tried playing it faster and slower, and we changed the key like 87 times. Not really, but we tried everything, but it had all the key elements, right? It had a killer chorus with like this beautiful soaring vocals and like a killer riff. It on paper should have worked and it should have been awesome, but it wasn't working. So like not even 2 weeks before the studio, we just like, you know what? Let's give it a whirl. We turned it into 2 completely different songs, and it was right away perfect. I'm like, oh, cool. But it just meant that now the one song that we had all the lyrics and everything ready for, that one was good, and it ended up being like smooth ballad. It's called The Sun Never Sets. And then Let It Slide was brand spanking. And that one was a tricky song to play, but it was really fresh in the studio.
It was very fresh, yeah. I mean, the songs, when you listen back to them now, they couldn't be any more different, I think. But the original idea was that, I can't sing like you do, the big soaring kind of a hook that she's got in the chorus, we were trying to get that on top of Let It Slide, and it just didn't want to be there. So,
yeah. Fair enough. Didn't force it.
Didn't force it. I listened to that Let It Slide, and I'm immediately comparing it. I shouldn't say comparing it, but it sounds a lot like, to me personally, Larkin Poe.
Really?
Yes, because I get that vibe from that song, right?
Thank you. That's really cool. I haven't heard
You're
that
welcome.
yet, but that's
just-
interesting. Actually, now I'll think of it through a different lens. Yeah.
And then you said that 2 songs came out of it. The other song is, yeah, you're right, is completely different. It's a great song as well. I was listening to it on the way here. But yeah, the Larkin Poe was like, oh my God. Like I'm
Cool.
I'm listening. Yeah, right there. So that was a pretty cool feel.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I feel that one is like Let It Slide is like the driving song, right? I feel it's, crank down the windows and just drive kind of a thing. So that's pretty cool.
For sure.
If I get a ticket on the way home, I'm sending you the bill.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Driving down the 417 with that cranked, right?
Windows down.
Windows down, my hair flowing. This hair.
Your beard.
Beard
Yeah,
flowing.
beard flowing out the window.
Yeah.
Nice.
Where did you guys meet, the three of you?
In university. We all studied music in university. Classical music, which is kind of crazy when we think back. Actually, Adam, the bass player, and I were talking about how different we were when we met and we were studying classical music in university. I did it because I had just really started a band called Bluestone, and my brother Ben, the two of us played guitar and sang. It was like kind of a thing. And we started Bluestone, and I really wanted to be able to soup up my voice so that I could tour and sing like 40 nights in a row without losing my voice, because that's what my challenge was, because my voice is high too, and you just one wrong note and your voice is toast, right? So I figured, if I can learn the technique that you're supposed to sing with, then I'll be able to sing forever. And it worked. I can sing like night after night after night after night, and my voice doesn't get tired. So
From classical opera training, yeah.
yeah.
And for me, I just wanted to, at the time, I just wanted to go into university form music, and that was the right opportunity for me. But I don't really much care for classical music. Sorry to, my old classmates. But, yeah, it wasn't necessarily my thing. So as soon as we got out of university, I was playing more rock and roll and blues.
And you were in like 100 bands.
Oh, well, yeah, at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Just doing
You were
some
like a
studio
band
stuff.
whore for years.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Sandy,
And Adam was on the horn. Like Adam is a prolific horn player.
Like killer trumpet player.
Yeah, true.
Really?
Awesome. Yeah. And he's switched over to bass in this trio, and he's loving it. I mean, he didn't start that long ago either, and he's like awesome. So it's pretty cool. He's very musical.
Oh man, he's a force.
It's cool.
For sure.
It's awesome. It's interesting. But like you to have that foresight to go to school to simply hone in on your voice being not only the voice that you have, of course, but also to have it so that it stays with you for every performance. That's such an interesting way to go to school. I mean, that's different, right?
I don't know. I never went.
Yeah, we know you didn't go to school for music. That's for
No,
sure.
I sure didn't.
We
Well,
listened to-
it was tough though, because like I really did not fit the mold of an opera singer. I mean, I embraced it and I enjoyed it, and I had the chance to do these opera roles and all this really interesting music, but it was like putting a square peg in a circle. Like I was of the black sheep, you know what I mean? And sometimes I get discouraged and I just go and write some song on my guitar and be like, oh yeah, this is why I'm here. Like, remember when we met and I was having a really rough day
Yes,
and I was sulking
Yeah.
in the library, and I
Yeah.
was like, God damn it, this Gregorian chant is grinding my gears.
Totally.
And I was like, so I went into the listening room and I had Jimi Hendrix Blues. Have you heard that album?
Yes.
It's like one of my
I-
favorites, and I had it cranked. I don't even think you're supposed to crank it that much. And I was just listening. I'm like, yeah, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here. Yeah, and you came in. You're like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, that's how our friendship started. Is we started swapping CDs of what we were listening to that wasn't classical music. Like I think I was pushing the Beatles on you. I mean, of course, you already love the Beatles, but this is my favorite Beatles album. Yeah, and then we became buds.
It's funny. Everybody talks about the Beatles. Every person we've ever they bring them up casually, like you just did, Sandy. But are the Beatles like the source? Like, is everybody kind of have the same idea that okay, the Beatles is where it began and where it is and where it's at, or what?
Yeah, that's a good question. It might have something to do with the fact that they had like 200 hits. Like no one else has done
A
that.
little bit of an influence.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I wouldn't say the Beatles are like the be all end all for me. Anyways, they're part of it for sure though.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, the colors and the songs, and it's just idea after idea after idea. It's just, and I guess that's why so many bands can say, oh, the Beatles, because it doesn't matter which jar you are, and you can branch off into whatever. You can always find something for you in the Beatles, you know, because there's so many different types of songs and everything. I don't know. I figure.
It's funny we're talking about the Beatles. I was just reading about George Harrison meeting Ravi Shankar, like right before we got on there.
It's funny, eh?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Beatle?
Oh, who is the favorite Beatle?
Paul.
Oh,
We
Yeah.
got to do with an accent.
it's lovely, love.
I think you have to.
I think you do. Oh,
Yeah.
that was Irish, not
I was a bit more Irish there.
sorry about that.
Kind of when you go over the high, that's more Irish.
I know.
Yeah.
When you bring it a little bit slower, that's English.
Like they're stupid.
I can do that. I can do a really good Scottish accent too.
Oh, good for you.
That's not bad.
Oh, that is good. That's good.
Well, my last name's Angus. There, Angus.
It is Angus for
I
sure.
hate them.
I get
Sorry about
Ken and
that.
Haggis kicking around.
Yeah, I hate the haggis. My grandfather used to make it, and it was like, we have to eat sheep's belly. Like, thanks a lot.
Thank you, no.
Yeah, no, I'm down.
Like,
not
sorry, I had belly for breakfast. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of.
down. More of a pork belly guy. Do you guys have any like pre-show ritual that you would go through prior to playing live?
Well, as a group, like as the three of us, not necessarily. I'd
Could
always
be individual. Could be an individual thing.
Yeah, I'd hit the head. I'd grab a beer and have a smoke, which is terrible. I shouldn't, but I did, and I do.
yeah. It's like, okay, showtime's in like 15. You got to tell Sandy showtime's in 15 because he's got to do his 3 things, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess we always kind of. It depends on what's going on before the show, right? And we'll all get together. You know, we won't come to the stage from 3 different spots. We'll be kind of together for a second before we go on. But this makes me think that we need a ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like be aggressive, like a cheer.
We'll get Adam to lead it. It'll be awesome. Yeah.
Right on.
Well, you don't. I mean, you can create one if you want. I mean, like, you know, the Eagles had the one thing that they did, and
What'd they do?
Well, what did they? That was a song that they would all stand around and sing together. Do you know the song?
7 Bridges Road.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, because they do that harmony. That's an amazing harmony.
Yeah,
All
because
of them together.
that's how they'd all warm up, and like Don Henley and like some serious voices, right? And like
Oh yeah.
Who else? Sorry, besides Don Henley,
Alan, Glenn Fry,
Glenn Fry,
uh,
Timothy B. Schmidt,
What's the guy that sang the song that 2 Times likes a lot? Joe Walsh.
Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the bass
Yeah.
player that sings the song we were.
That's
Oh
Schmidt.
yeah.
That's Timothy B. Schmidt.
Yeah, and you know, it's okay. It's really funny that you guys bring this up because I was just on a road trip with Adam today. We're coming back. We had a show yesterday afternoon in Toronto. And we're driving back today and listening to the Eagles and talking about, you know, like how much we just love their harmonies. And they're like, okay, let's do it. So cranked down the windows and we were harmonizing to the Eagles. I'm like, take it to the limit. Ooh, like, and I'm like, okay. I don't think I was supposed to say anything though. I think that was supposed to be our little secret, but cat's out of the bag now. Yeah.
You know what's funny about the Eagles is it's not something that I just throw on very often, but when I do play it, I realize how good they were.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Well, they're still around, sort of.
but like
Well, they're still doing a few little
Glenn's
tours.
gone though.
I know, but
is his son playing with him?
He is, but they've got Vince Gill.
Oh yeah, Vince can hit it too.
He's got a great voice.
Yeah,
So-
Don Henley has like the voice.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's
They're all awesome. It's unreal.
dirty. I play that song "Dirty Laundry" that he always had on.
Oh,
that was his single stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the single stuff.
Yeah. Tell us about the Maple Blues Award that you guys were nominated for.
Ooh.
Yeah, we were nominated for Best New Group, which was really awesome. We're new in the realm of, you know, like the bluesish sphere.
The Bluesisphere. I like that.
Is that a word? But it was really awesome because, you know, I mean, we've been playing for, you know, 20 years and touring and writing songs and making albums and doing all this. So we're not technically a new group, but this
outfit,
project
the three of
is
us.
a new group. And it's, I think the reason why it works and why people are liking it and why we're, you know, having so much luck with this and with the albums and whatnot is because when we started this, it was really just well, hey, Adam, what are you doing? I don't know. What am I doing? Well, come on over. We'll just jam for fun. And it was just for fun. It was not to write hit singles. It was not to, like make the perfect like record deal or any of that stuff. It was really like, let's just play for literally us.
Yeah.
How it feels and how and that's why our songs are, when we play them live anyways, they're all like 10, 12 minutes long because they move and we take chances and we kind of go way off into left field. But like, it doesn't matter how, crazy left field we go. I know the guys are always going to catch me, even if we're like in total space cadet mode, it always comes back. So, and so I think that is genuine and it is for us and we're having so much fun doing it that I think that's why it's catching on, because it is genuine. It's not like planned.
Yeah, I totally second that. It's not formulaic. It's not, we don't want to be thinking about the format that we're playing when we're playing. We want to be really present in the moment and authentic to what we're feeling. Mm. And that's what I think is selling. This isn't answering your original question, but we'll get around there.
You're doing what you do on stage. You're going to bring it all back.
Yeah, and it's working. It's resonating with the people in the audience. And it's resonated with, well, first it was the Toronto Blues Society. So there's a bit of a story of how we ended up at the Maples.
Mm-hmm. So we got to play at the Toronto Jazz Festival last summer. And the Blues Society was putting on a talent search, and we got to meet a whole bunch of great artists from that. And we ended up, like, we didn't place or anything, but it was a really good event. But what we didn't know what was happening behind the scenes is that we were, we weren't what they were looking for that specific thing, but we were for the Maple Blues Awards and for the summit. And it was really great because that's really where we're like, oh, where have you been all my life? It was like coming home. It was so nice, and just hanging out with all these awesome musicians and like great tune after great tune, one after the other, like one band. And they're all headlining bands.
Well, let me preface this because I got to specify there's a difference between the Maple Blues Awards itself and then the Toronto Blues Summit, which happens every 2 years. Mm-hmm. So we got off the stage. This is at the Jazz Festival last summer, and the organizers were like, you need to apply for this summit. You absolutely have to. I'm like, okay, sure. We don't really know much about what it is, and we put in an application, and thankfully we were accepted and asked to showcase. So to lay it out for you, the summit is 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a music conference in Toronto, in the Chelsea Hotel. And there are sessions during the day, panels about the music industry and what's happening. And then in the evening, there is showcases that start at 8 and wraps up at 12. So you can picture like a big ballroom, and there's a stage on either end. And a band will get up and they will play a 30-minute set, the best material they have going. And then after that ends, everybody stands up, they turn their chairs around, and they face the other way, and then the next band starts.
It was actually really funny. The first time we saw it, like, is this happening for real? Like, people just literally like, boop, boop, boop. Okay, we're watching this show now. It was awesome.
Yeah. So it really is a big networking / showcasing event, and that lasts, like I said, Friday through to Sunday. And then on the Monday is the Maple Blues Awards Gala, which is technically a separate event, but it's sort of
the tail end of it.
Tail end, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we were super fortunate to be nominated as a Best New Group, and I was asked to be a feature performer, and that was such an honor. I remember they asked us right before Christmas. I'm like, it's an early Christmas present. This is great. Because, I mean, Matt Anderson was playing, and I've loved Matt Anderson for years and years and years. And to be able to be hanging out with him in the green room was just amazing. It was super cool, right? And there was so many great bands. Like, I'd never met Crystal Shawanda before, and she is awesome.
That's a show for sure.
Yeah, like what a voice on her, and just like her whole way of being. She's just wonderful. And I mean, all of the artists that were there, it was
Blackburn Brothers. They were fantastic. I don't know if you've been hearing about them, but they're doing really well.
Yeah,
and good on them. Good people too. That was the coolest thing about this whole conference / Maple Blues Awards. Everybody was there for the music to have a good time. Mm-hmm. There was no negativity. There was no attitudes. Everyone was there to share and talk, and was excited to be there.
Yeah.
So it was really, really. Man, I want to do it again.
Well, put in your application.
There you go.
We will.
Gotta wait a few years, but yeah.
Yeah, it's every 2 years. So you got a year and a bit to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before that happens.
Yeah.
And
what did you play when you were able to go live, play live?
At the award ceremony?
Yeah.
Actually, I did a song from our first album called Getting Old Child. And it's a slow blues ballad with like a big vocal melody coming right out of the gate. And it was a song that we actually wrote for, we did the road to Memphis in Ottawa. And then the winners from that, we were sent to Memphis for the International Blues Challenge. And that was back in 2018, I think. Yeah. And we're like, okay, well, we were, like we said, a brand new band, and we had just been jamming for fun. So, I mean, we literally had like 5 songs that we could play comfortably. And like, well, you know what? We should really actually, you know, put something together specifically for this to put on, like, to make moments, right? To make a moment and to put on a show. So we ended up writing that song, Getting Old Child, because I remembered being at a blues fest. I think I was about 17 or 18, and Shamika Copeland came to the festival, and man, the voice on her is unreal. And I remember she went out into the audience and sang without a microphone, and you could hear a pin drop. I mean, there's thousands of people all chilling in their seats and walking around, and it was like, it was awesome. And I was like, oh, I'd like to do something that I could do that in. So this is the song that I like to go and sing in the audience. And it's just like a really big sing. So it doesn't matter. I can sing. You can hear it no matter what, because it's such a big sing. Right. And so that's the one that I did at the award ceremony.
Very cool.
Yeah. What Adam and I really appreciated, this is a new thing for us, because you got to play with the Maples Blues Band, like the house band there. Toronto's, you know, top notch musicians. And in that scenario, Adam and I were sitting in the crowd watching her perform a song that we wrote, and watching these other musicians play the parts that we had written. And it was surreal and wonderful to be in the audience for something we've played many, many times, right? It's just, it's pretty cool.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that's a question we tend to ask a lot too, is what gives you a bigger thrill? It's a little bit different. Like, you know, somebody recording one of your tunes, or somebody, you know, an audience of 5,000 plus singing it back to you. Like, that's the big question, right?
Yeah.
1,000% live.
Yeah. The live audience, like that's an energy. Like, it really, like, you can feel it. It's a tangible energy, especially in a really big group, like a festival audience. I mean, if you could bottle that up and sell it, you'd make millions. I swear to God, it's so awesome. Like, it's really cool.
That's actually a consideration when we're writing. It's like you said it before, I'll say it again, though, like to create moments in the songs, like to know that here is a spot where we can really pull people in and have them, you know, at least
sing
with us, or just like to be involved in the show. So it's not just, you know, pressing play on something. It's like, it's an interactive experience.
Yeah. No, I think that would be like, it'd be your fear, but I think it'd be amazing to feel that for sure. I mean, I'd be fearful too if I was up there, but I think that for me, what the best thing someone told me is, you're not scared, you're excited. It's the same feeling. So just use it as excitement as opposed to fear. But I think that you as musicians, like, you're obviously, you know, well written in music because of your background, but playing live, like, do you feel like you're nervous and then it's sort of excited at the same time, and then you just sort of pull it all together? Or do you just feel comfortable that you've written your music and you know it really well, and then you just go do it?
You want to go, or do you want to go?
You can go first.
I would never want to get comfortable. I wouldn't want to play starting off comfortable. I'd want to be nervous, excited. Even if it's a small gig, you know, I just want to have that energy, and I don't want to be complacent. I want to be there in the moment.
You say energy with like the scared eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say,
like, no matter how I feel before a show, when we get up there and within that very first note,
chord,
I know what's going down, and I'm there with Angie and Adam, and we're good as soon as we start.
I really like what you said, though. That's really cool. The idea of fear and excitement are the same kind of emotion, and that's what it is, right? You're not afraid to get up there, but you're really excited, and I just want to go up there right now. But at the same time, you're like, oh, I don't know how this is going to be. So it's kind of a mix of that, you know. But it is always exciting, and I mean, we've done so many shows throughout the years that I wouldn't say that for the most part, I'm ever nervous anymore, but I'm always excited to get up and go and do it. And if it's a bigger show or something new, if it's anything that's different than what we're used to doing, I'm always a little bit more like amped up and like kind of nervous, like, oh, how is this going to go? They haven't done this kind of thing before, a different setup or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it keeps it exciting.
And, you know, that's a fun thing, too. There's been lots of different scenarios that we found ourselves in where we're about to go and perform, but it's in the setting that's different. Like Saturday, for example, is a perfect example. Mm-hmm. Or during COVID, when we had to do those taped, like filmed shows where you don't have an audience, we were like, this is strange. Or what is this going to be all about?
Yeah, that was super weird.
And we feel weird about it going into those things.
Yeah, but I mean, and because it's different. Like, I'm sure you've had other artists talk about how weird it was to do those during COVID. First of all, we hadn't played in forever, so it was nice to just play. But, you know, you're done. You're just totally, like, searing on the solos and just singing all the way and, like, losing my voice, and the end is done, and it's just this, like, camera crew in the back, and, like, it's just quiet and dark, and you're alone, and they're wearing masks in the back of the room. Like, okay, this is strange.
They're doing the thumbs up. Like, that was great. Like,
it was really good. Okay. You're, like, crushing it, and it's like, that was great.
Great job, guys.
Yeah.
We got it on video.
Yeah, we got it all on tape.
Yeah, I could imagine that would be somewhat awkward, but also interesting. But again, I would imagine that you guys want to be in front of a crowd. I mean, that's what it's all about, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the sharing of the music and the sharing it's like if you can get the audience to feel the way that you do and to feel that moment together, it's a special, I don't know, it sounds so corny to say, but like a bond that you can only have in that moment. Like, it's not something that you can continue later, right?
Yeah.
It's a live thing. So it's kind of cool.
We did the Encore Ottawa series, I forget what year it was, in the middle of COVID. And we're playing at the Shankman, which is, you know, fairly good-sized room. But just be able to, like...
Centerpoint Theater.
Centerpoint, that's what I meant to say. Centerpoint Theater is where we
were. Another big place, though. Pretty big.
Yeah. But, like, you hit that last note, and it goes and bounces against an empty room with empty seats. It's like, oh...
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Where's the people?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine like playing live in front of nobody.
Yeah,
I think it's a different vibe.
Unless
altogether.
you're creating a video or something like, I guess that would be something different.
Still, I mean, they feed off the audience. If there's no audience there, then it makes it tougher. Yeah, I feel,
especially because like Angelina has such a big voice, right? So it's like, I don't know. For me, I'd be like, it'd be cool if it's just the two of us watching them. That'd be a trip.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask, like, so
private show.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. So do you tend to like open slower, and then get going? Like some bands like to play a couple slow ones to start and then get everything going, or do you like to come out of the box like hard?
Yeah, I think we come out like guns a-blazing, really. I like to. What do you guys always say that I like to sing people in off the get-go. I kind of feel like the witch in Hocus Pocus that like lures the children. It's terrible, but come on, it's a classic.
Okay,
we understand, we get it.
Yeah. But we're with you know, like, because if it's somewhere where there's people that are doing other things, you know, I'll sing them into wherever we're doing. So, and like you said, it's because I'm loud. You know, I have to put my loudness to good use, otherwise I just get in trouble for it. So. Yeah.
So you come out pretty strong. You usually you put together the set list because you've got it in your head the way you want to do it. I guess it depends on what we don't really start slow though, do we?
No.
But something that's, you know, comfortable. I said I don't like going on stage comfortable, but that first song has to be like, okay.
It's got to be solid. It has to have a good groove, right?
Set the tone.
It's got to be like a good groove that's going to get us kind of amped up and feel solid, so that we're not kind of, that was a little awkward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Starting a good fit.
Yeah. Well, you want to get people's attention, right? They're talking at the bar, and all of a sudden they hear Angelina, and they're like, all right.
Yeah.
You've got our attention.
I will give you a perfect example of that. Like Angie at her finest. You're always at your finest, but this was a great moment. Kitchener Blues Festival we played, I think, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Fantastic festival. If anyone is listening and hasn't been there, go. It's awesome. Amazing artists, and it's free. And it's
3 stages. It's the whole downtown core is shut down, and it's just stages and billions of people all over the place. It's cool. Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
So we had a slot about 3:00 in the afternoon, and we were opening. David Wilcox was after us, and it was hot. It was 40-degree day.
Really hot.
Really, really hot. And we had a pretty decent crowd, but most people were trying to find shade. And like the beer tent was off to our left, and there was lots of people underneath the tents, drinking their beers, trying to do their thing.
Cool.
And
no clouds.
The setting was brilliant because it's like right down the main city street, and you got skyscraper to the left, skyscrapers to the right, just like this big corridor. And then Angie did exactly what she talked about, like pulling people in with her voice. I could see them all of a sudden, like stopping what they were doing, like, huh? And then making their way in. And by the end of it, it was full. And I'm sure David Wilcox had, a lot to do with that too. But it just like I could see the people coming in based off of her voice, bouncing off of these buildings. It was epic.
It's awesome. That would be a cool venue, I would imagine, just to look out and see like, not just the people, but like the fact that you're like in a corridor almost.
Shutting down the whole city too, or the city
Kitchener's
center.
cool, man. Kitchener's a cool town.
So I've heard. Yeah.
Hey, the Headstones almost stole your guitar that night.
Yeah. They got
Your Strat?
Yeah, my Strat. I'm like, no. If it would have been one of my backups, maybe I'd let it slip. But I was like, sorry, bud. That's crossing the line.
Nothing intentional.
No.
It was just stage managers moving things around.
Yeah, and he had it up on stage, and he's like, no, you can't take that one. I'm like, I have a show in 10 minutes down the street. Like, I need my guitar, man. Like,
yeah.
No. Yeah, it was funny.
It's my guitar, dude.
Yeah. Like,
So
look at the case. It's all beat to ratchet. Like, for sure, it's my guitar.
We're going to start a rumor between them and the Headstones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we will. Just have a
want
little bit of
to be
animosity,
willing
Yeah.
because,
You gotta have an enemy.
Sure.
Yeah.
We don't want enemies with the Headstones. Hell no.
No, man.
No. Yeah, they're good. They're a good band.
They'll spit on you. I got spit on by Hugh back in the day when he was still partying a lot, and he spit on me in Kingston.
Well, you probably deserved it.
Yeah, I was front row. He spit right in my face. It was awesome. It was the best day of my life.
You're like, I'm going to save this forever.
Well, he used to do that, right?
Bands, but we played a show with them. That was so long ago. That was in Manotick, Ontario. And they were
That's where we are right now.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's out. Cool.
What was the name of that festival they had put on?
I don't know, but they had a big Budweiser truck came up and it like unfolded like a transformer. And there was an instant patio. And yeah, the Headstones headlined.
It was awesome. That was a fun
cool.
concert.
Yeah,
I didn't know Manotick was that kind of cool.
Well, we're here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, now it's really cool.
Uber.
The epitome of cool now.
You bring the sauce, bro.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You know it. I come from downtown.
Saucy.
Now, do you ever like when you go to these festivals and stuff? Has it ever been a moment when you just like completely fanboy / girled out at somebody being there? Like opening for David Wilcox in Kitchener, that would be a huge. Like he's like
I love him.
Blues like personified here in Canada, right? So he's a big name.
Icon. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that was super cool. But we weren't allowed to mingle with him beforehand because, some artists...
He wasn't around though, was he?
No, some artists will, just like full on hang out backstage with the other, like little bands that are playing earlier in the days, right? But for the most part, they kind of do their own thing. But one of the times that kind of caught me by surprise is we were hanging out backstage. I think it was the Tool Festival back when they had like the big shows, and just chatting and having some beers with the guys backstage and chilling, just hanging out. And this guy, I'm like, oh hey, I'm Jeff. Oh hey, nice to meet you. Yeah, it's like cool leather jacket, man. He's like, yeah, I have a custom made. I'm like, la-di-da, custom made, eh? Must be nice. And he's like, well, yeah, and I'm like, what was your name again? He's like, Jeff. And he takes his hat off and he's got the hair. I'm like, dude, you're like the Jeff. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, as if you're hanging out with us. He's like, come see my prototype. I'm working on this guitar with...
You didn't tell him who, Jeff Martin.
Jeff Martin from the Tea Party, from the Tea Party. So, and he's just like, yeah, come see this prototype guitar I'm working on with Jimmy Page, and like super chill, and just, I'm like, dude, you're a rock star. Like that's cool. Yeah. So that was, I guess, a moment I was like, oh my God, as if you're just hanging out back here.
Yeah, I don't think I do the fanboy thing too much, but I remember there was something that really got me going. It'll come to me in a bit, but
no worries.
You can come back to it. Yeah, come on back.
Remember the first time I went to go see Dawn Taylor Watson sing live? And I did the whole fangirl thing. I just wanted to go say, like, I love your voice. But when I got up there, it came out. I just did. And then just, this when you just, it's, wow. And I was like, damn, that went really bad.
Super cool, man. Super cool.
Slick.
Wow. It was like when you met Jerry.
Yeah. When I met Jerry Mercer, I was kind of, that was just embarrassing for me.
Yeah, Dog's a huge April Wine fan, so he was like, Jerry Mercer was,
He lived in my aunt and uncle's building. I got to meet him. We talked for 45 minutes, and it was like the best experience of my life. It was so cool.
That is
Nice.
true.
And
It's always-
such
it's
such
always
a
nice.
nice man.
But it's nice when you meet someone like you mentioned Jeff Martin and Jerry Mercer and meeting these people that you kind of look up to and you do look up to, and they're nice, they're normal, as opposed to egotistical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me think of Bywater Call. Bywater Call is a band out of Toronto. If you haven't heard them, please check them out. They are fantastic.
Awesome.
And they played at the Overflow.
Write that down.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're awesome.
They're really, really good.
I think they're touring in the States right now, and then they're heading off to Europe. Like, they're fantastic.
So we saw the show. It was highly recommended. It was at the Overflow a few months back, and we're like, this is fantastic. And then you're kind of like, wow, this is like a super group here. And we started talking to them after the show, and they were people. They were super nice people.
Yeah.
And they knew who you were, too, which is helpful.
Normal people, and I'm like, man.
And then
they're going to be rock stars.
just a few months later, we were at the Blues Summit, and they were showcasing as well, and they were also nominated for quite a few different awards.
Yeah, they were nominated for all kinds of stuff.
And it was great because we were able to, like, do you remember us? And like, yeah, of course we do. Yeah. And they had showcased, and then we showcased right after them. So that happened on the Friday. And then on the Monday was the awards. And then, yeah, like I say, they were nominated. And after the awards, there was a really cool jam that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And they were having...
It's Magic Sam's band. They were
Magic
hosting
Sam,
the jam. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
they were having all the different artists that happened to be there that were nominated got to go up. So our band and the guys from Bywater Call, Megan and Dave, we all got together and jammed in like this little tiny sort of back bar. What were we grooving on?
it was awesome. Oh, we did some Bill Withers.
Yeah.
Some like really funky groovy stuff. Oh, and Jeff Rogers was down too.
Yeah.
So he was playing on the keys like Jeff
She's
Taylor.
good.
It was a really fun jam.
So it's kind of cool because like I was kind of fanboying it when we first saw them, and then like a few months later we're just chilling and playing together. So
Very cool.
And you know what? I was actually talking about this yesterday. I was playing the Sunday Blues Church, and Miss Emily was headlining the bill.
yeah.
And at the summit was the first time that I finally got to see her sing,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just super awesome. And like she's just, it's like it's mesmerizing, right? Like when you're watching that show, you're just in the whole time, and it's just super awesome. And then I thought, if I'm going to talk to her, she's probably going to be really busy, or whatever. But she was so nice and so awesome and really chill. And I'm like, oh man, that's just like you said, it's so great when someone is fantastic, but they're really nice. It's like, oh, this is great,
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I got turned on to Miss Emily by Mike Graham, the guy that I work with on the Whitewater Rex Radio. He was playing a tune. I'm like, who is that? He goes, well, that's Miss Emily. I'm like, well, I'm immediately Spotifying it to find out. Like, incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice plug there.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good plug. Whitewater
Rocks Radio. Yeah.
Check it out. We played you. He played you guys last.
Yeah, that's where my radio show is on Wednesday nights,
time. What time, Dave?
7 to 9.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I know what we're doing on Wednesday.
Yeah. We're going to Whitewater Rocks. We're going to go there.
We're going Whitewater.
I'm going to physically go there.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going Whitewater rafting?
Rocks rafting. Mm.
Rock rafting. That's hard
Rock
to
rafting.
say.
Yeah.
It's like,
Why? I need to ask this. Why is Adam called 965? Are we allowed to talk about it?
Is this
I
something
know.
that
I know why. I just don't know if Adam wants us to talk about it.
he's a magnificent musician and person and everything, and he's overcome adversity like every step of the way. And like we were mentioning before, he was a trumpet player, excellent trumpet player, and then he got sick and he's not able to play his horn anymore, so now he plays his bass. But the 965 is the number of his hospital room that he had spent. He was in a coma for 3 months or something. And when he woke up, he was in room 965. So it's his like good luck number now because he's back. He's ready to rock and roll.
Nice.
That's a good one. That's
Good little story.
Yeah, absolutely. You always wonder.
We tend to call him Angry Jesus.
Yeah, I saw that. It's on here too. Yeah.
Angry Jesus.
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 So what's your favorite song on the new album and why?
You go first.
I like Let It Slide. And that's a purely selfish thing because the drum part in it is like Nick Mason from Floyd. It's what I was tapping into. Some of from the Live in Pompeii vibe that he was doing. And it's fun as hell to play. And I've never had an opportunity to play that anywhere else in any other outfit ever. So that's my selfish pick.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't know. You know what? I think I really like how Crispy Bill turned out. It's got like a really sick groove when it gets into that verse, with the boom, boom, boom. It's like we're kind of sitting behind the beat. And I remember I wrote that one acoustically at the cottage or something. It was like summer and I was just chilling. I'm like, oh, I had this really cool idea. And I was playing it and said, like, that'll never work. Like, really? Ange, that's not a B list. I'm like, no, I can hear it. I swear, man, I can hear it all in my head. Like, it's going to work. And like, okay. And it ended up being actually really awesome. And I was like, yeah, I told you this is a killer song.
Yeah, no, we like that. We listened to that on the way.
Yeah, I played that on my show. That was like the first song from them I played.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, I really like this.
I was listening to it just
Nice.
before we spoke to you, actually.
Thank you.
No worries.
I have a different question.
You do? Good for you.
Is that part of
Is
the
it
show?
for me or them?
I think it's for them.
Because you're looking at me.
Well, we've talked about this before.
Fine, ask the
So
question.
I need to ask, as a trio, who is the greatest music trio that you can think of?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man, there's so many.
First that came to mind was Hendrix.
Yeah. We were also talking about him earlier.
True.
Yeah. People forget that he was
wow.
People forget that was a trio.
I don't.
Oh, I know you don't, but
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah.
I think I brought that up, and people were like, they weren't a trio. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
The Jimi Hendrix experience was 3 people.
He was a decent guitarist.
He was not a guitarist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trio,
Yeah.
that's a wicked good question. Oh, man.
Do you want me to name a couple that I think of?
Yeah, sure.
So, like, Rush.
Who?
Rush. Cream.
Yeah.
Those are a couple. Tea Party.
I actually loved Eric Clapton growing up. When I was learning guitar, I spent a lot of time studying his style. So yeah, that's a good one too.
Rush, I appreciate, but like I can never get behind it. I don't know.
I'm with you on that, but as a once you start listening to a bit of it and like having these people that keep talking about them and how famous they were and they were Canadian bands, you forget about it. I hate his voice. I can't deal with the voice. I'll be honest. But as a drummer though, you must appreciate Neil Peart, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure I do. But then if I say something bad about Neil Peart,
Don't do it.
people will be egging my house. No,
It's
not
like,
this.
don't talk about politics, religion, or Neil
Peart.
Peart.
No, Rush is great. They are fantastic musicians.
Oh no, he's got some bad story about him.
Do
I
it.
don't.
Come on, do it. What did he call you? He called you something, didn't he?
What did Neil do to you?
Called you Sandman. Yeah.
He's like, you can't call me fucking Sandman.
Anyone but you, Neil. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
No. Cream, though. Yeah, Cream I got into.
Oh, tell us the story about Neil Peart. Come on.
There is no story. I'm just saying that, like, I was just going to say that their music is very... There's not as much of a groove as you might get from, like, let's say, James Brown. It's very calculated. It's all prog. It's prog.
I see what you can say. It's not loose.
No, it's not. It's very much... It's in a pocket for sure. And, man, I'm going to get some flack for this. For sure.
So
Yeah,
is he better? Is John Bonham better than him?
I would never say one drummer is better, but I would most definitely listen.
Are you kidding me?
John Bonham's awesome.
Like, we have a shrine of him in the back room. No, just kidding. But
Yeah.
But there was some great studio outtakes on YouTube of Bonham and like this isolated drum tracks. I'm like, oh, that's the shit.
so cool.
I will go and crank that and just like let it blast as my background music. Just Bonham just doing.
Do you remember when you set up your drums a la Bonham on one of our studio sessions? We were phase 1 and we were recording a Bluestone album.
Oh yeah.
And he
that was
made
cool.
this like really long tube from his bass drum and then opened up the warehouse in the back, like from the studio, and had it just like echo. It was really cool.
No, it's more than that. So big ass studio, big recording room, and me and the engineer started geeking out and going Bonham style, trying to get that huge ass bass drum sound. And we built this big fake tunnel, like you said, and we put multiple mics throughout it, and then we ran the feed of those mics into the warehouse that was behind the studio, like a big empty warehouse room, through some subwoofers, and then mic'd the room.
Wow.
And that was the sound that we took onto that album.
It was cool.
That is cool.
Hard to do live though.
Yeah,
Yeah. You need space.
Little tough.
It was overkill for sure.
You can't do it at like
De Cuff.
Yeah, or like Cafe de Cuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Or even on Bank Street there at
Redbird.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
it's
what
interesting.
I
you
started
know,
calling you Thunder Kick.
I started calling myself Thunder Kick.
Yeah, he
to be
started
honest.
calling
Yeah,
you.
that's-
You can't give yourself a nickname, and yet.
Thunder Kick.
Yeah. It's appropriate. It's appropriate.
I like it. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
All right. So Thunder Kick.
Thunder Kick.
How wicked! It's official now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, well, t-shirts are coming. A
Come-
whole thing.
Nice.
all the merch that comes with it.
Thunder Kick.
Perfect.
You guys mentioned De Cuff, and it just throws me back to a story when Angelina and Adam and
Oh yeah, we spent a lot of time.
and
a lot of time.
Angie's
there.
brother Ben Russell, a super wicked musician. When we first started hanging out, we go to De Cuff, and we were doing this thing called Jammer Tuesdays. And
You guys remember that? No.
Nope.
I don't
Okay, so you
actually.
go in, you write down like what your name was and what instrument you played, and then it was basically all thrown in a hat, and then they'd pull it out and say, okay, we need bass player here, drums, and all these musicians would get up who had never met each other, no idea of the skill level or what they were going to play. And you got 15
20 minutes or
15,
whatever.
20 minutes,
Just
go
jam.
do something.
Cool.
You never know what you're going to get. It was so cool.
It was awesome, and
It is
there was
cool.
there was one killer guitarist who had kind of a Latin Santana kind of influence, and I love being able to jam with him. We get and you'd get some of the same musicians again at another Tuesday, but you'd be playing a completely different set of grooves because all the other people have changed, right? So it was a really cool idea. It was a lot of fun.
That is a cool idea.
That's a great premise. They should bring that back if it ever left.
It may not.
Yeah, they
it may-
stopped
yeah.
doing it, but yeah, they definitely should bring it back.
I know because there's a lot of open mics in the city and stuff. That'd be a great idea to do one night to say, okay, here's what we're doing with the open mic, guys. Everybody that's here.
Maybe Thunder Kick should host it.
I think hosted by Thunder Kick.
Yeah,
We're going to make this stick.
nice.
This is going to happen.
I've
We're
said
gonna
it
keep
more than
saying
3
it.
times, so I think
We're gonna keep
yeah,
saying
yeah.
it until it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Nice.
No worries. So talking about that, what do you guys feel about, we know, we're learning every time we have a show about the Ottawa scene and the amazing artists that live and perform in this city. I'd like to get your guys' take on that.
There's so many, you know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
so many hidden gems and everything too. And I honestly feel like there's not enough venues to support how many amazing musicians there are, right? Because there's they keep dropping off like flies. It's such a bummer, but
You mean the
There
venues?
was-
You mean the venues?
the venues, yeah.
The musicians.
Not the musicians, geez, that'd be brilliant.
That's not good.
But I mean, you guys actually did an interview with Taming Sari, and we just found them, and they're awesome.
yeah.
Man, Warren can sing. He's like Joe Cocker. It's just awesome, you know. And those guys are great. There's so
Jessie
many.
Green, she's been killing it for years. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Good friend too.
Yeah, a killer guitarist. I mean, there's the whole Commotions group
Yes.
Yes.
where they're the super group, and they play with all kinds of it's just they're all
That's our
above
girl.
the top notch musicians, right? in that
Rebecca.
group?
Oh, I know
Rebecca Noel?
Rebecca,
Yeah.
She's
But then that also-
ridiculous.
You can't say that without saying, Jeff Rogers and the Aslan brothers, right? Those guys are amazing. Richard Page. There's a whole.
I grew up with
circuit of
Jeff Rogers,
musicians who-
actually.
Sorry.
I grew up with Jeff Rogers, so yeah, he was a talented guy from day one, man.
Yeah.
It's just going on what you're saying, of course.
Yeah, a super nice guy.
He's my favorite singer of all, I think. I mean,
Really?
and he's a local guy, but I it was the first time I heard his voice was the first time I heard the Beatles.
And we're back to the
But
Beatles.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it comes
it
full
really is.
circle.
It's pure soul. That guy
Yeah.
he channels pure soul 100%, and it's beautiful. We got a chance to hang out with him at the summit.
Yeah.
Like
Had a good
for
time.
a couple days, and we had a great time. And again, just an amazing artist, and he's just a super chill guy.
And of course, that dovetails into Hirojo and J.W. Jones.
Yeah,
JW,
JW.
yeah.
Oh
Jamie
man,
Holmes,
come on.
Have you guys heard Mikhail Laxton yet?
No.
No.
Tell us about him.
So we interviewed him a while.
We've twice.
Well, no, just the one time.
Yeah, that was twice.
No, we had him live on
okay.
Instagram
All
once.
right.
But so he's this Australian guy who came to Ottawa and married a girl from here and has a family. But he's put out a new album, and you should check him out after. But he's got this amazing soulful voice, and he's a tremendous guitarist, and he's really good live. But a really cool guy, really nice guy. Yeah, you should check him out. He's Ottawa based, and he's from Australia, and I think he's going to be something down the line that could grow, and
If our opinions mean anything, he's going to be something.
Yeah, and who's
Please
the other
tell
one
me
I
he still
thought
has the
that too?
accent too.
Oh yeah,
He does.
Yeah,
He does.
Nice.
yeah. You can go back and listen to our interview with him. It's actually really good. But you listen to his new album. Yeah, I think you'll like it. It's got a good,
for sure.
really good groove, kind of bluesy, bit raw, like really good.
Country as well.
A little bit of country too. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Anyways,
guys are
like
talking
you said though, there's so many amazing Ottawa artists that are, we didn't realize until we did this show that we were like we just kind of started the precipice of it.
Yeah, it's just incredible. And every day, like looking at your stuff and the guys, and then some of the people you mentioned, I'm looking up. Oh my God, like Dawn. I had listened to a little bit of her before I came out here today, and it's like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Shamika Copeland, like all these artists that. Angelique Francis, I guess is another one.
Yeah, when we were hanging out with her at the summit too, they're fantastic.
I can't believe
Her and her sisters, and like, man, it's so fun. And I mean, we can't not mention MonkeyJunk. I mean, they just went.
No, you can't.
And I grew up, idolizing Tony when I was a young guitarist. I go to Tucson's. I don't know if you guys remember Tucson's in the south end of Ottawa.
Very well. Very well. Yeah.
My dad used to bring me every Friday since I was like 11. Okay. And they told me, if I catch you with a beer in your hands, I'll cut off your fucking thumbs. And George McGibney, the doorman. Yeah. I'm like, I promise I won't. And watching the Fingers, and the first time I saw Tony D play, I was like, I want to do that. Right.
Yeah.
And like Southside Steve was like another one of my like blues buddies.
Yeah,
from,
who's
like,
not known as Southside anymore. He's Steve Mariner.
Steve Mariner.
Back in the day.
Oh, him.
Yeah. And I mean, like, he's
Southside Steve.
he's a force of nature, right? He's playing with Jimmy Boskill and Colin James and like everyone.
Well,
right?
When we first started the show, that's one of the bands I wanted to get on. I wanted MonkeyJunk on the show because I love them. 15 years. But we got Matt.
Good.
Yeah, Matt Sopp came on, and he was like so fun to talk to, and he's a good guy. And so I share the love. MonkeyJunk's amazing.
Yeah. I hate to say it, like I was saying that I don't fanboy too much, but I think Matt's is fantastic. And anytime I'm sharing a stage with him, I'm like, oh my God, I hope I don't fuck up.
But he's exactly. Yeah, he's so down to earth.
He doesn't. He wouldn't care. He'd be like, oh well, man, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and his brother.
Murray Kingsley, Wicked Grin. Like we had a good time when we were in Toronto at the summit. We had like a Ottawa dinner where it was us. Murray was there, Jeff Rogers, Angelique Francis, the whole band.
Yeah.
Some of the Ottawa Blues Society people. Did I forget anyone?
Yeah, and we were there. It was awesome. I'm like, there's a lot of people from Ottawa here. This is pretty cool. Yeah. So we figured.
I really feel like it's more and more and more are being recognized in Ottawa for sure. I think.
It's like Angie said too. Like we need a few more venues to play. Like because there's not enough.
You can come play here.
Right here. What happened to Barrymore's, guys?
Don't. Oh my God, get him started on that.
Okay, listen. It's my when it was 80, like you remember 80s night and Sundays and stuff like that place was the place to go. Like I remember anybody that came from Toronto or from out east or from even out west and they came to the city, I brought them there because the reason being is the venue was amazing. I love that it was like almost like stadium style. The stage was so high up, but it's actually like really in bad repair. That's why they don't have it open anymore. It still has the old sign there, but I've told Doc that if I win some money,
same here.
I think everybody that loves Barrymore's has said that at some point. If I win the lottery, I'm bringing Barrymore's back.
I'm revamping that. Yeah, we're bringing it right back. I'll spend whatever it costs to get that.
Like the bars on each of the levels, they're like the Starship Enterprise.
From back in the day with Bluestone.
Okay, yeah. So we were playing in Bluestone, and it was a CD release party, or maybe one of our music videos, and the place was just packed. It was awesome. When that place is packed, it looks amazing because of the levels, right? So you could see all the different people. And so me and my brother Ben, we're both playing lead guitars and we had our wirelesses. So we were doing like a dueling guitar solo and we went out into the audience and they followed us with the spotlights all the way up to the top balconies, like on the edge. And we were doing our dueling guitars from the other side of the room. It was awesome. It was so cool.
From the drummer's perspective, it was the coolest shit I'd ever seen. This huge room, everyone facing the wrong way. Well, not the wrong way. They were facing the right way.
Yeah.
But like away from the stage up towards you guys and the spotlights on you. Like, this is really neat.
It was
really cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, very, very much so. In that venue, absolutely.
For sure. I mean, that's the thing. Like again, that's the venue.
And just the acts that have gone there and played. We should get McDoug on the show because he used to work there.
Yeah, but also like you're right. And I remember the Bob Seger story, and I remember that U2 played there from early. Kiss played there.
Yeah, I saw Lyle Lovett there. It was incredible.
Yeah, Kiss played there, man, back in the day. Like, yeah, Bob Seger, I guess, was trying to buy some blow from the bouncer. So this limo pulls up, and it's Bob Seger, man. And he goes, the owner, Randy, who owned this other bar that I worked at, was called the Riverside Pub. And so did Doug, sorry.
Thank you.
But Randy said that he showed up and the bouncer had to go around the corner, got him some blow, and then I guess he was late to come back on the show. Shocker. But yeah, so there's some crazy Barrymore's Ottawa stories for sure, which is cool. I'd love to create some new ones.
Yeah. Well, let's win that lottery.
I mean, I know who my opening act will be when
there you go.
Yeah, you guys
make it local, baby.
You get first shot.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Except we're rebranding it Thunder Kick.
Thunder Kick. Welcome to Thunder Kick.
Everybody like, who the fuck's Thunder Kick? But it's pretty good. But that's a great,
awesome.
great name.
Yeah.
No, really good or really pretentious one.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not inviting Kiss because they bailed on the Ottawa show that I was supposed to go to.
He was sick.
I don't care.
Fair enough. So we ask a question to every band, every guest, everybody that's been here since the beginning.
People on the street.
Yeah, we should do that sometime.
We should.
Okay. And we go 80s or 90s music. And it doesn't have to be genres. It just has to be the actual decade.
90s.
Yes.
Checks for you.
And why? Why would you say that? Just the impact?
For me, 80s equals drum machines most of the time.
Yeah.
Kind of like
It's not untrue.
Yeah. But you know what, Adam, the funny thing is, I bet you Adam would choose 80s, and it's not his favorite genre, right?
You're right.
And not to talk like for him, but he's mentioned this a bunch of times that if you were to take some of the 80s songs and get rid of all the reverb and the like drum machines and synthesizers and stuff, there's some pretty good songs in there. Like there could be. You could like redo them. Okay. But as they stand, 90s.
Okay, sure. If we're speaking for Adam too, he loves his metal. Like he is a true metalhead, and I think the 80s was better representing metal than
Agreed.
For sure.
Agreed.
For sure. I mean, I loved Our Lady Peace. And, you know, when I was developing my, like, you know, when you start to, like, really love music, I went to so many Our Lady Peace concerts, man. It's super fun. I just like the vibe, right? And, and, you know, and it's not like 90s grunge, but for me, a lot of the type of music that I listened to in the 90s, like, I saw a whole bunch of hip concerts. And for me, that's kind of in that genre too, right? I don't know. But I know you're probably thinking more like alternative.
No. Listen.
I gave him the look because he'll explain in a second why I gave him a look.
Well, there's no bigger hip fan in the world than me.
Oh, nice.
You're the biggest hip fan in the world.
I've seen them. I saw them 37 times.
Oh, that is awesome. Good. I've seen them a lot of times, not that many times. I think the first concert. I like to think I am,
but I don't know. There's probably a bigger one out there for sure.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
Like so awesome. Actually, the first time I ever saw them, I was 10. And it was great. It was like a Canada Day concert at Lansdowne Park or something, right? And there was a whole bunch of bands. Like Colin James was there. And then the first concert I was allowed to go to by myself, I was like 14, and it was the Hip, and it was awesome, and it was packed. It was another roadside attraction, and then from there it just spiraled. And I was there.
I was at that concert. I was at the other. Yeah, they played
other.
The other.
Is that when they played Rideau
No,
Carlton?
It was another roadside attraction.
Which one was the Rideau Carlton Raceway?
That was it.
I was there.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it was awesome.
I saw them in Bob Cajun, and then that was probably the best one I saw outside in a farm field. The Trios opened.
Oh my God!
Sam Roberts was there. Bob Cajun and
no, that was
no, it wasn't about. We saw them. We saw Kingston. We saw in Kingston, the Trios opened for the Hip.
Yeah, they're both huge fans of each other, so it was a cool. They actually played a few songs together there too. I was like totally right out of it, but it was awesome.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was high as fuck.
Might have had a few beers, you know. It's like it was more. I think I was on the concert. Stays at the concert, man.
True. I think I was on shrooms though. That was probably why I was really trippy. The other thing, you know Nick Beaton as well, right? Like that.
Absolutely.
So where's that connection? Because I went to Maryville with him. I don't know.
Okay.
Like that was
I'm Nick's dad.
You look great for
that explains a lot.
With a 42-year-old son, he looks really good.
I think he looks very good.
Yeah. Stunning.
Carrying it well.
Stunning, actually.
Thunder Kick is kicking it.
Yeah, he's looking good.
Yeah. I think we first met Nick back in the Live 88.5
Was he doing?
Yeah, and he was playing
Autumn's Cannon?
Man, I feel like an idiot now that I can't remember the name of his band. He was awesome. And then he ended up
Autumn's Cannon.
Yes,
Autumn's
thank you,
Cannon.
thank you,
Yes,
thank you,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's when we first started meeting him. And then he was also recording. He was an engineer at Raven Street for a while. And we went in and did a couple tracks with him too.
Okay,
and
cool.
he's really tight with Adam. And he has the record store. And Adam lives just up the street from his record store. So he's going in there all the time too.
The Turning Point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Turning Point. Yes,
Yeah.
go to Turning Point. It is awesome. You can find so many gems in there. I mean, I love going into old record stores and just sometimes I just pick records because of that cover, right?
For sure.
It looks cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same.
I've done that a few times.
Yeah, it's the best. And
Yeah.
then you play it and you're like, oh, fuck, this is like
Yeah,
a
this
funk
is,
album.
what
from like the
is this?
70s.
This is awesome.
I like so I bought one that was like an African album and I didn't know anything about it. And then I played it and I was like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah,
so
and
it
sometimes
was
you really do find these awesome gems. And other times you're like, oh, we kind of missed the ball on that one, but it was a cool cover. Like,
yeah, exactly.
But and with Nick too, we played a show. He played with the Angelina Hunter Trio at the Rainbow. We were doing a show, and we got him up to as like a special guest, and he played 5 or 6 songs with us. And man, that was so fun. Like we just clicked, like with the guitar back and forth soloing, and like that was super fun.
Here we go. We got some vinyl. Yes.
We're talking vinyl. We went to the record center last week, I think, and we just started picking up some stuff. So this one, I should have known this. I feel silly for not, but Crowbar.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, actually, a pretty great album like that.
Yep.
This one is just Hey Roots, and it was pretty cheap, and it's not great.
I was like, it's not. If it was the Roots, it would be amazing.
Maybe a little bit better.
Yeah.
James Brown in Japan. Kick in.
Oh man,
I
that's
didn't know
so-
James Brown spoke Japanese. That's pretty cool.
But
He doesn't speak English. Like,
Oh, he barely spoke.
If we were wondering what those words were, and in fact, it's Japanese. It's from the old Japanese dialect from back in the day. Yeah.
some
made
of
that
artists, soul jazz.
she's making that up.
Cool.
She made that up.
She did
I'm
not.
just making that up. Yeah.
And she wouldn't lie to us. Not now.
We're too far gone now.
Oh, I thought we bonded.
Yeah, we did.
And now
We
she's
did.
lying to us.
Well, we appreciate your time, and you guys are amazing, and we look forward to seeing you live.
When's that?
Yeah, we'd love to know when
Actually,
the next show is.
We're playing this weekend at the Atomic Rooster on Saturday night.
Let's see. When does this air? I don't know.
Yeah.
couple
So
weeks.
this will kind of be out
This will be
of
after.
time, but yeah.
There is a show coming up at the RCH Club in Kingston, so that's not here, but
CHA. Yeah.
RCHA on April the 6th.
6.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Not the
Then
19th.
in March. No,
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch. If you go to our site too, they're all kind of on there. They're kind of spread out and what have you. But we're working on a bunch of new dates and some interesting concerts coming up too.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun. It's exciting.
It's awesome.
We'd love to see you guys out there. That'd be awesome.
For sure.
We love seeing you do what you're supposed to do. That's the best part of this whole thing. And I check out AngelinaHunterTrio.com to find out all the shows. Follow them everywhere.
socials.
And yeah, guys, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
guys.
you guys. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate
I
it.
look forward to chatting with you again sometime.
Great. Cheers, guys.
thank you.
Bye, guys.